Welcome to Retro Bus. You know, the GeForce FX 5800 is one of the most rare, iconic, and let's face it, overpriced video cards on the retro market today. But what if I told you underneath this workstation cooler lies the exact same heart, but for a fraction of the price? This is the Quadro FX 1000. Today we're going to strip it down, mod it up, and see if we can get that FX 5800 experience. We're going to find out, is this the ultimate hardware hack, or should this have just stayed in the office? So the Quadro FX 1000 was released in January 2003. It has a 300 MHz core and 600 MHz memory on a 128-bit bus with an AGP 8x interface. It utilizes the NV30 core. Why is this special? Well, it's the same core used by the GeForce FX 5800 and the 5800 Ultra. And if you've been keeping up with retro card prices, well, these cards are nuts. Nicknamed the Dust Buster, one of these sold for over $2,800 on eBay. These are somewhat rare cards because not many were produced. Nvidia were getting trounced by ATI and they quickly released the 5900. So the 5800 had a short run. Going back to our table, we can see it's the same core. The only difference is the GPU clock and memory clock. So if we can clock this FX 1000 up to 5800 speeds, I don't think we can get 5800 Ultra, we can get a great card. It even has the exact same PCB. On the right, we have the 5800 Ultra. On the left, our Quadro FX 1000. First thing I'm going to do is get this heatsink cooler off, clean it up, and give it some fresh thermal paste. Okay, so cleaned it up, stuck hard, but you know, what do? You hit it with the wife's hairdryer, that's what you do. And it will soften it right up and then just twist it right off. Oh, that's still pretty hot. Yeah, they always use this yellow stuff and it's absolutely horrible. It's about as clean as I can get it. Got the cooler all clean and back together. So I'll get some fresh heat compound, something hopefully better than this, and get this back together. Now, because we are going to overclock this, really do want a good cooling solution. If I had a better compatible cooler, I would probably try and fit it. So we're not just going to overclock the core, we're going to overclock the memory as well. Now, the great thing about this card, it's got the same memory chips as the 5800 Ultra. Samsung, rated to 500 MHz DDR apparently. So let's make sure we keep these guys cool. So what I've done is grab some memory cooling heat sinks, get onto those memory chips and keep them cool. Okay, got one side done, but you know, I have to be so careful because there's some surface mount resistors that are pretty high up. They're sort of raised a bit, as you can see, so I've got to make sure that that heatsink doesn't touch them and create a short. That's the last thing we need. Oh yeah, all done. Look at this. How badass does that look now? Oh yeah. All right, looking at our test bed here. AMD Athlon XP 2500 Plus. Loved the Athlon XPs on an awesome Enforce 2 chipset motherboard. Can't get any better than this. I've got a gig of RAM in there, and here is the awesome Quadro FX 1000. So yeah, this was when the era of power, extra power for video cards started coming in, and you needed a Molex connector. I mean, this is an ATI card that I've got, and look, it uses the floppy disk power connector. There you go. So they all had different solutions on how they got extra power to the card. Okay, so we're all plugged in and ready to go. So this system is based on the year 2003. CPU, video card, RAM amount is a little bit high. 512 was considered pretty good for 2003. This is a gig, so you know, why not? All right, all plugged in, got my little LED glowing, which is always a good sign. So yeah, let's go. Quadro FX cards usually don't fail me. Yeah, got a beep, got a signal. Oh yes I do, indeed I do. Very cool. I love this motherboard. Yeah. Given the time period, it's gotta be Windows XP, right? Okay, who doesn't love some tech demos? When the GeForce FX series was released, they released it with these demos, Dawn and Dusk. Now, Dawn is the big one. They used it in all their marketing, in all the boxes that you bought. You know, if you bought like a GeForce FX, you see it here. Yeah, no, this one is Dawn, and this one was supposed to show how good it rendered skin and hair. But you know, if you're into the more goth type chicks, well, yeah, had her sister Dusk. And this one was supposed to be a lot more about showing how it renders shadows and highlights and whatever the hell it was. But anyway, Dusk and Dawn, there you go. Pick your flavor. All right, everything's installed. We're gonna do some baseline testing to see what the first results are, see how much this overclock's gonna help. So standard clock frequencies, 300 MHz core, 600 MHz memory. So let's see how results are. We'll do some overclocking and modding and see how much of an improvement we can get. Gonna kick it off with 3D Mark 03. Okay, so here's our baseline, 3,732. So not quite GeForce FX 5800 speeds. I think it's probably like 4,000 is what you'd sort of expect for that. So let's see once we clock it up. Okay, I haven't tried overclocking this thing, so let's see how we go. So we'll get up to GeForce FX 5800 speeds. These are the standard frequencies. That core should go to 400 and the memory should go to 800. All right, so still running a Quadro, but at GeForce FX 5800 speeds. Okay, look at this, 4,663, a 25% increase. All right, let's kick it off with Splinter Cell, released in 2002. Yeah, look at this graphics are fantastic. Look at the frame rate as well, looking awesome. I tell you what, yeah, this looks great. Look at the textures, it's so nice. Okay, so we've got a little bit more to render here, so you know the frame rate has taken a bit of a hit down to the 30s, but look at it, it looks so nice. Oh, and I tell you, the frame rate is taking more punishment now though. I didn't realize how demanding this game was, even though it was 2002, 18 frames per second. You know, I expected it to run it slightly better than this, to be honest. This was a great game. You know, I loved Metal Gear Solid, but you had to have a PlayStation to play it, and this was, you know, probably the closest thing. Nice covert ops type stuff. This is running it overclocked, and you know, it's pretty playable. It's pretty good. But you know, we are pushing it. This is 1024 by 768 at the highest quality textures. 2003, Need for Speed Underground. We've got to go 1024, right? This is considered a high-end graphics card, for Christ's sake. All right, looking pretty good. 60, nice. This game does have a 60 frame cap, I believe, so looking pretty good. I reckon I could even crank those details up a bit higher. Oh, this is really good. This is really good. Nah, you know what? I'm going to crank it up. This is just not budging below 60, so it's got a lot more headroom. Let's crank up those details. I'm going to go high. It's taking a bit more of a dip in the frame rates when I've cranked up. Oh, but look at the reflections and everything. Look at the road. It all comes at a price, of course, but this looks so good and very playable. These frame rates look up back to 60 again. Yeah, this looks so good. Very nice. Look at the trees and the lighting. This avenue looks fantastic. Yeah, you know, I can't remember what graphics card I had when I played this game, but I'm pretty sure I didn't play it at these sorts of levels. This looks pretty damn good. This is in, you know, overclocked mode, just in Quadro. And look at it. Okay, also released in 2003, Freedom Fighters. So I'm going to go 1024 768. Oh wow, look at this. Looking great. Frame rate's insane. This is only a cutscene. Yeah, these frame rates are nuts. 100, 160, 100. Oh, wow. Okay. Handling it with absolute ease. I love this. It looks so console-y, but it runs like a dream. Look at these frame rates. The graphics sort of remind me of like Virtua Cop type Sega games. Look at this set piece. How good's this? Very cool. I was just a normal plumber. Now I'm a revolutionary. Look at me. Oh yeah, nothing like a good Molotov cocktail. I love the graphics on these. It's so cool. Lots of fun. Just run and gun. Straight into the action. Great game. And these frame rates, wow. So we're still in 2003, and this gem is released. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Now, this game was a bit of a system killer, so we'll see how we go. 800 by 600, we'll go with that for now. 60 frames per second, graphics card is handling it with absolute ease. This has got a 60 FPS max lock. I love this game. I played through the whole thing. It's so much fun. This was awesome. When it came out, all my friends had it too. We're all sort of playing through it together, saying, what level are they up to? You know, I'm going to bump it up because it's handling it too well. Let's go 1024 768. This is amazing. I can't believe this card is handling it so well. Still 60. How good's that? And it looks so sharp. This is unreal. Yeah, look at this. And you can change camera angles. You can go like first person view. And there's this cinematic sort of camera view. You can zoom out and have a sort of a bigger look at where you're at, what you need to do. Awesome. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, running at 60 FPS. All right, moving to 2004, and we've got to go with Farcry. Let's do it. 1024 768. There you go. Let's get out there and have a look. All right. Nice, nice. 30s is always good. And the first time you walk out here, it just looked awesome. These are pretty good frame rates. Pretty good. Look at this. 50. It's great frame rates, especially when you look at all this scenery that it's trying to render. That's looking great. I mean, this isn't on the highest detail. I think it's medium. Let me have a look. Yeah, so sort of medium details. But you know, look at that. Even on medium details, it looks so good. What a game. This is awesome. There you go. Farcry running it really well. I know I definitely didn't play with these sorts of frame rates when I first played this game. We're going to try UT 2004. So I've got the GOG version here. You can get this for free from oldunreal.com, which is more updated with latest patches. We'll leave everything at normal and see how we go. I think it's going to go great because UT was pretty efficient. It was a really well built engine. Oh wow, these frame rates are pretty awesome. Yeah, oh yeah, this is really good. Oh, I love it. So responsive, really good. And on this system, running so well. Oh yeah, this game looks so good. You know, the graphics jump in this one was awesome as well. Yeah, and you know what? When you want to snipe people, you really want nice responsiveness like that. Yeah, when the game plays this well, it's just so much more fun. Yeah, I love those pieces of flak, the detail. Oh, it's great. And like you can bounce it off the ground. I mean, if you bought this card to play UT, especially if you played it competitively, oh yeah, you'll be very, very happy. Not disappointed at all. You're running like an absolute dream. Okay, so there's many ways to mod this card to a GeForce FX 5800 or even a 5800 Ultra. Now, you can do it with firmware or you can do it through River Tuner. Now, to do an Ultra is a bit trickier because I think that CPU needs a bit more voltage to crank up to 500 megahertz. So I'm just gonna go 5800 flat, basically trick the system into thinking that it's a FX 5800. So we just change the strap, NV strap. Let's go. So I've selected GeForce FX 5800. Okay, there we go. So it's found it as a GeForce FX 5800. I'll just have to reinstall the drivers and let's see if it's going to make a difference. Okay, so running a 3D Mark with the GeForce FX 5800 drivers and configuration. Let's see, do we get any difference? Yeah, look, not much difference is there. It's only 10 extra 3D marks. Is it really worth it? Don't know. So I did some real world comparison. Here we are with Farcry. And you know, the GeForce FX mode on the right, there is a slight improvement. I can see extra couple of frames, which looks pretty good. So the GeForce FX drivers might be a little bit more optimized. Now, when we go to Doom 3, you can see a little bit more of a gap here. They really shoot up to sometimes 50% to 30% improvement in frame rate. Very interesting. Again, this is probably due to the drivers being a bit more optimized for games. There it is. So where does that leave us? Well, this card is a fantastic alternative for a high-end GeForce FX. Perfectly mimics the GeForce FX 5800. With a bit more care, I have seen people mod them and get them running at 5800 ultra speeds, but you really do need a lot more work to get that happening. Bad news is, well, everyone else is catching on to this. So the prices of these cards are actually going up quite a bit as well. Looking online, some of the prices, oh yeah, they're pretty harsh. So everyone else is caught on and grabbing these as an alternative. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Thank you for all the guys that support me. If you'd like to support me also, links are in the description. Thank you again. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.